Hey guys, welcome to another episode of El Jefe Shop Shop. This week we part out the case. The K30, but surprisingly, it almost had a full tank. So I've been using these containers to take the fuel out of the car, and now I've run out of containers, so I'm going to have to pour these into the K55, I guess. Free fuel. There's like 20 litres there. So I've got a guy coming to look at this engine shortly. So before I do that, I just thought I'd show you how you can get a really easy carby dizzy motor to run when it's on the ground. So you need your battery, hook that up to the starter motor, which is this wire here. So that goes to the alternator and the starter motor, but it only needs to go to the starter. Then you have your starter wire. So this is where your key comes from normally. So there's a terminal on the back of the starter motor. A few episodes ago, I showed you how to test your starter motor. So that was the smaller terminal that we were putting to positive. Then you need to go earth to the block, and then power to the coil, to the positive side, the negative side of the coil to the dizzy, and that's it. So all you need to do is put a bit of fuel in the carby. Easy. And then grab your starter wire and touch it on the positive. It's that easy. So I've mainly been focusing on parting out the K30 this week, and these are the parts I have left. So I have 3 doors in the boot, the carpet, got the radiator, the crossmember, wiring, a few suspension parts, some of the dashboard, and a few interior parts, some of which a mate of mine wants, but when he gets here, he'll grab them. I've still got the speakers, which I haven't advertised, so I have to re-advertise all this stuff. And then on the car, we've got the aftermarket steering wheel, the fuel tank, the rear window, the diff housing and the center section of the diff. We've got the brake booster down there, the steering column, and the front window, which is sold, but the guy's going to come back and get it later in the week, and the rear window still. So it's all coming together pretty well. So I also got the K70 moved over here and the K55. So I have got the K70 running. I put a carby on it from the K30 and it smokes like a train. So it's pretty much no good. It smokes way too much and it doesn't want to rev. So I'm not 100% sure what's wrong with it, but I'm not sure what to do with it at the moment. So I'm just kind of ignoring it and I've put it over there for now. So getting there, got rid of most of the parts. So I focused on the house a bit this week as well. We've got a few more things done. So it's almost finished. And I've got to clean all this up because we're going to have a party here in a week or so. And then once that's over, the house will be almost finished. And then I can show you how it looks. But that's a quick overview of where the cars are at the moment. So just an update on the 30k challenge spreadsheet. So I bought the K30 and the tow for $850. I sold the bumpers, the wheels, the engine, the stock steering wheel, the dash plastic, so the surround for the gauges, the tiled ends, the steering surround, so the steering column surround, the tail lights, the axles, the left-hand guard, the front struts, the rear leaf springs, the accelerator cable, the speedo cable, the washer bottle, and the headlight assembly. Sold all of that for $980 profit. So that's including the $850 I paid for the car, which I had to pay myself back with. So then I sold the left-hand front door, the grille and the headlights for $100. Going to the next page. I sold the seats, the dash, the front calipers, the rear vents, the chrome, 2 sets of chromes, so 1 set off of the K30 and 1 set off of the K55, the gauge cluster from the K30, the manual pedals, the radio, the console, and the bump stops for $700 and $135, so $835. So I feel like we're doing pretty well. So looking back at the totals, I bought the K30 and the tow. I had $934 cash. I sold $1,830 of Corolla stuff straight away. I then sold another $800 of Corolla parts, which brings us to $3,564.25. So I've then got to add $135 to that from the things I just posted. And there's a guy coming to look at a gearbox tonight for $250. So this car's been really profitable so far. I've made nearly $3,000 out of it. So it's going really well. Super happy. So since that last video, I've sold the rearview mirror, the Boss kit, the gearbox, and the wiper motor, which brings us to a total of $443. So I've made over $3,100 off this K30, not including buying it and the tow. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Sit down. I'm going out. I'm trusting you to stay inside. Okay? Paul? You shook on it, you have to be good.